Hello, fellow Mythrunians, and welcome to another weekly live stream as we count down to the Halloween party at the end of the month. Tonight we'll be working on masks and hats, which will hopefully let us make some pretty cool costumes. So before we get too much further along, let's go ahead and thank the patrons. Everybody raise a glass. I'll raise my Pepsi. And we can go ahead and get started. Let's see, let's minimize this. Move this right here down. Okay. As you may remember from last week's episode, we were messing with getting Mythruna girl to have a hat and a mask. And so that was all done, and then I finished texture mapping that last weekend and turned that into, templates for the tailor's dummy that we use to draw our stuff. And today I've been messing with getting the tailor's dummy toggles and stuff turned on in the game so you could zero in on just the head or just the hat or whatever. I'll show you what I mean. And then I can show you, I finally got it just now to the point where even though it's not hooked up right, I can prototype a little bit what things will look like how the costume will work. So I was playing with masks and stuff. Making sure that the way I've mapped the UVs is cool and everything. Of course, now my nose is itching. Alright, so let's go in here. Right now the way it works is that the hat and the mask are using the same texture painter, clothing painter as the body. So when you paint on the mask and the hat, it will also paint on the clothes and vice versa. But it's enough to kind of see where I'm going with this, and I can talk about what we're going to do tonight. So let me show you what's going on. Okay, got the cool desert town, so let's go to clothing. And so I was monkeying with the basic tunic, and yeah, so you can see I've completely destroyed the regular tunic. But if we go here now, you can go to the bust, and so that will show you and you can turn on and off the hat. Now what will happen when you really turn on and off the hat is it's just going to get rid of when we make hats, it will all this part that you see here would be transparent, but when we're editing the hat, of course we want to see that, but then turning it off would just show the parts we'd filled in. So this would be just the mask. And so I was just verifying that this brown stuff that comes through is just stretched textures from the template, the grid. But I was verifying that I could do a superhero mask, and that everything kind of fit okay. So this is the mask, and then yeah, so you've still got your regular clothing editor where you can still go blah blah blah, but now you've also got the bust, which allows you to line up the mask with the neck of some outfit you've got maybe, and then you've got the ability to turn the hat on and off. And I may add an extra option because maybe you want to remove the hat completely, whereas right now that's what this does, is completely removes the hat, but I want the ability to as I fill in the hat, to be able to see to be able to do this and just see the solid parts and not the transparent parts. The other weird thing about the hat, in the final form, right now, whatever you do on the top is completely independent with what you do on the bottom. But when the transparency is supported, I would like it to be that whatever first layer you put on the top gets transferred to the bottom. So if I filled this in with leather or whatever, it would show up on the bottom as well. And then from that point on, if I put stuff here, it's going to be putting it on the bottom of the stack, and if I put stuff here, it'll be putting it on the top. So it'll be like a real layer. I only just now got the hat hooked up, and so I just wanted to play with it a second while we talk about what's going to happen tonight. So what needs to happen is I need to hook the mask and the hat up to their own clothing painter, which I think I closed the yeah, I did. Which have their own texture layout, obviously. But I think that's, so I've still got some. And so that's one thing we got to do. That's a little tricky. So that would get the editor working so that whatever we create here would show up in the right place and wouldn't have to obliterate the clothing. The problem is that it won't save because Mythruna itself is not set up to save and load an extra layer of clothing, and so we got to get that hooked up. The neat thing about all this is that as we hook up hats and masks, is that whatever we do here is the first step to, capes and robes and other layers. As soon as we have any new layer other than the default clothing, now we've started to build out what it would take to do the next layers. And of course then it's just up to the modeling. And the reason I'm not doing capes and robes is because I actually think capes are just a robe without all the parts, and robes have to move with the animation and stuff, and so that gets tricky. Anyway, so let's mess with a hat for a second. I think I want to kind of maybe give everybody some imagination on what we could do. Let's make like a suede hat. Maybe that's shaped. So let's just cover all this in. Oh yeah, because this is dead area in the clothing. That's dead area, so you can't actually. So I can't actually really prototype this, but let's prototype a brim. I want to see if I can do like tricorn hats and stuff. I think top left. Or just weirdly shaped hats, because you've got this round brim, and I just wanted to confirm that I could make weirdly shaped hats. Let's go back to angle, and I want to do top. Okay, so already I can make a pretty weirdly shaped hat. Whoops. Oh. Huh. Interesting. Okay. Oh, so I had already done angles there. Okay, cool. So what if we didn't? What if we... Yeah, so we have the brim come around, and let's make the brim go all the way around for a second. And then I want to mess with making, I actually think this is mistextured. So again, this is why I do these things, is because I actually think I did that on purpose. I want to just verify that things are working the way I expect them. But the way that pants and shirts, pants and the body are set up, these actually are only half blocks, and so I think that's why I did that. So yeah, you could make some weirdly shaped hats. So you got to imagine this is transparent, right? So you could make some weird shaped hat. We're gonna have like some seams. So just like the body, I'll be spending the rest of my life tweaking seams. But so you could spend some time making all kinds of weird hats. I probably should have moved these back further, but you get the idea. And so then you could have this, and maybe we go with the black suede. Oops, black suede. And we make a, a buckle. Actually, let's give it hard edges, right? So it like glints off the. And so if this was a real hat, it would be open on top, right? The way I've got it set up, so you could make crowns and other things. Although I think a crown would work better as a mask, personally. And so then we could come in here and let's make a metal buckle, a gold buckle, center. So you could come in here and you could make a gold buckle right in the middle. So we got some weird looking hat, right? Anyway, so it's kind of working. Again, we have to then map this to a different texture, and that will let us work out, the parts that let you click on the clothing know that these are dead areas, and so they won't let you click there. And because just the way it maps right now, that looks like a dead area. So I need to change the dead areas on, hats and heads and things and so on and so forth. And so yeah, there's just a head version too, which you could just edit your way. So it's got a neck hole. That'd be similar, right? We can't click on the neck hole. So there'll be a different set of rules for where to click and where not. Anyway, so let's go ahead and get started. Let me maybe track what we're gonna do. Come on. Come on. All right. All right. Everything's running really slow on my system, which does not bode well. Okay, so clothing. Whoops. Clothing to-do list. Let's make bullets. We have to create a separate painter. Map that to the children. Sorry. Let's see. We want to be able to save and load that. Fix dead zones to match new painter. We want to be able to load this as a new layer. That'll be tricky. That'll be the tricky part. So, yeah, transparent background for hat. Oh, yeah, transparent background for both, for hat, mask. Yeah, except for... Yeah, okay, so... mask, background, solid for editor, transparent, background, hat, background, toggle on off instead of part. Okay, so I think that's I think we might be able to get this all done tonight. But let's go ahead and see about making a separate painter. The trick will be not getting sidetracked by playing with it. That's been my experience, is that it's fun to play with, and so end up wasting time doing that. Okay, so we need a second painter. So I'm going to rename this to the main painter. Oh, okay. Yeah. Whoops. Cancel drink. I went too far. But let's go back to here and look at painter. So I think this is where we need to create the second one. But let's, oh yeah, let me rename this one too then. Boo boo boo. Painter to main painter. Yes. 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 And where does builder ref come from? Okay, so we want to do this to, I think, we're going to need another clothing builder. H, main builder. Boink, 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 boink. Yeah, we got a lot of stuff to fix, because everything is going to have to pick which thing to use based on where we clicked. Okay, so this will be a good first start. Okay, so we've got that. Now we create the second set of things for the accessories. Hold on, I got an itch on my eye. Alright. Alright, so we're going to have an accessories builder. There's a sort of rule of three I use. Like, logically, we would want to make these selectable from a list or a map or something, hash map or hash table or whatever. But I go by a rule of three. That yeah, there's a dummy, there's a different one. To not do that kind of refactoring until you have three examples, basically. So not dummy base, but source main resources dummies female dummy 2 grid doink. Yep. Okay, so that'll be the second one. Clothing data. What is clothing data? Oh yeah, that's... What is that? Edit clothing data. Yeah. So that goes all the way back to storage. It's like I may have to do this in the reverse order. Go ahead and get storage set up, you know. Let us see. Let's go back to net clothing data. Yeah. So what do we do with clothing? So clothing data is the I wish I'd named it clothing data. is the data we get from the server, basically. And it might need... yeah. It's gonna suck if it needs multiple arrays. But that is what it's looking like. Which is a more invasive change than I perhaps wanted to make. It's just one of those things that begins to add up over time. But let's... it's already making my neck stress out. Let's just call this array 2. This way I'll end up breaking everything that tries to use this. Ooh, that would have been a weird bug to track down. And so there's going to be something on the server side where this is serialized. Is it data session? No, it must be character session. Update character, no. Game session? Yes. What we could do instead... so let's see, the client is going to be doing some magic. Yeah, so it's just going to take that array. Yeah, I have a better idea already. So instead of this, let's make this an array of arrays. And then a bunch of things happen automatically. Okay, and so that will automatically happen. Everywhere who tries to create a new clothing data is going to fail. Let's see what this does to the... okay, well, everything using that array is also going to fail. So we'll get a whole bunch of errors here. Yep. Oh boy. Yeah, maybe that's not the best way. Cell array protocol. We can fix that actually. Storage store is a problem though. Alright, as much fun as I would like to spend in the UI, I think we're going to have to get the data problems worked out first. So where do I go for the... oh, cell array protocol. Okay, maybe I was wrong about how to deal with this. We don't need that. We don't need that. It's all here. And yeah, So okay, I'm going to pivot. Saves the clothing data, self-storage, creating a, yeah, okay. Oops, let's do cell array 2. Let's go back to, can I undo what I did? There we go. Yay for undo. Okay, so game session will save 2 of them. And so then game client session has to store 2 of them. Accelerate 2. Let me see what this big giant cut fix me. Turn this into a multi-stage callback situation to avoid denial of service. Oh yeah, yeah, okay, so it's nothing I can do about it anyway. We'll do bytes 1, bytes 2. Okay, so we got that. We need to do the server side. So how that works is that there's a so it's this game session interface, and it gets implemented on the client side, and the client can call these things, and they get transferred over to the network automatically. And so then the server side, that's what this did, and then the server side implements these also, and then can do stuff with the data as it comes over. So here we get C data 2 equals cell array 2. Oh no, I hadn't. Oh, I did this. I screwed this up. It's not. It's just array and array 2. Yeah. I didn't make a. Yeah. Okay. And so on the server side, we get both. Need to save C data bytes 1, bytes 2. Okay. For now, we'll do this here, but really should be a player script. Yeah. Yeah, so I kind of have to fix this. Now, what did it do? Okay, so that's what we did for array. And no, I changed all that. I think this is old. So get rid of that. So we'll store the second array. Array 2 could be null, I think. Not equal. I want to support not having one at all. Support not equal to null, or equal to null. Then 0 else length. Okay. And then if C data array 2 is not equal to null, we'll save that, and then to the shape name we will add, boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Really, we should allow nulls in both. Shoot. Because this means we're... Well, I guess it doesn't really store it again. Because if, like, for example, if you made a clothing that was just a hat, it's going to try to save all of the clothing, even though it's only going to save the hat data. But the cell array storage is smart enough to only save a particular type of, a particular array once, because it'll hash it and make that the ID and stuff. So shape name allows children. Yeah, add-ons. Get add-ons. How do I make an add-on? I get add-ons and I just add it. So let's try shape name get add-ons dot add, and I think we're going to make a new ACC for accessories like hat stuff. Yeah. And so that'll save all that on the clothing design. And yep, so we need to do this. Bytes 2, array 2, bytes 2. So this is if something saves it on the server side. It's got to still call that regular method. I think we handled all the things on the back end. Okay. Okay, so things are going to fail to compile. The good thing about this, having to do the data first, is that potentially I can save and load right away without losing anything. Okay, so this one, clothing selector state, and yeah, so clothing selector state is the next thing we need to fix. And it's going to get ugly. Clothing selector state. New clothing data. Yeah, so we gotta do like that. And this is taking selected clothing, which is a clothing. And what is clothing? I think it's something we created just in here. Yeah. Alright. So we ought to be able to do this. And shape. And so I think shape name lets me search for children. If not, it should. Find add-on type. Look at that. Alright, I'm feeling good about this. Okay, so let's do the second one. So shape name ACC name equals shape name dot find add-on type. Yeah, this is definitely something I'm going to want to refactor someday. So if ACC name is not equal to null, then we have a we have to do stuff here. Recreate all this stuff. Let's call it ID2. And this would be ACC name. I don't think we need to do this check. We already searched for it by type. ID2. Okay, so if cell array ID2 equals ID2, or not equals, then we set them, and if the cell array ID is not equal to null, we set cell array 2. This almost sounds like celery. Cell array 2 will load. We generate the blocks. Yeah, refactor the hell out of this someday. Set up the spatial. Otherwise we leave it null. Okay. And then when we update the selection, alright, okay, so then clothing selector state, when we say edit clothing, we pop that thing open and we do selected clothing cell array 2, and I think that's it. One more. Make sure to copy it. Okay, save clothing. Okay, oh, that's good. Let's see what our next compile error is. Okay, cool. And so that means all that's wired up. And the clothing editor state, what does it do with clothing data, edit clothing, all that's good. Yeah, so this is where we'd set up the main builder and the secondary builder. Ooh, what happens if the array is null? Okay, so we already set up the second builder, right? Yep, ACC builder, we're good. Okay. So it's ACC builder, clear, and then ACC builder, set cells, clothing.array 2 equals null. New cell array 32, otherwise clothing array 2. I think, and either way, ACC builder, drain change cells. Okay, clothing array 2 equals main builder get cells. Clone, actually, I think cell array can tell us if it's empty. Too many things open. Celery. It cannot. So we will make an isEmpty function. And so if isEmpty, yeah. Then null, otherwise we make a clone. Not main builder, ACC builder. And then we save it. And I'm messing with my, let me make sure I'm still broadcasting sound. Yep, okay, cool. Alright, you guys are quiet tonight. Okay, this is false, I don't have to do anything with that. Search replace dialog will eventually need to know about both. Oops, if ACC, let's just copy this. If ACC ref builder update, then ACC painter needs to do its thing. ACC. And choose type. Yeah, so we're going to need to do some smarter things with how we choose which builder we're using. That's a separate problem. Oh, the export format's going to have to change. I'm going to start keeping notes. Fix exporter importer to handle other errors. Yeah, I might be able to. Alright. Yeah, so main builder. Yeah, so this is the cursor handler is going to have to get smarter. Alright, so that is that. And I didn't implement the isEmpty method. So this is just a standard nested array that iterates over all the things. I, J, J, Y, J, K, K, Z, K. If cells.getCell, I, J, K not equal to 0, return false, return true. Okay, so essentially if everything is 0, we would return true. If we find any of them that aren't 0, we return false. And probably I want to put this on the outside, actually. So we do the 0th layer first. We're more likely to find something than the clothing is stacked in the XZ plane. Y is like the layers, and you're more likely to have at least one thing on the bottom layer. So rather than at every XZ checking all of the Ys, we'll check the bottom layer first. If we find something sooner, then we won't have to check all the other things. Just a little bit of an optimization because things can get slow. And so then, new design area. Oh yeah, over here. Design area, we want the main painter and the ACC painter. Okay. Now we're getting somewhere. All right. Oh, yeah. So first I got a main painter. Yes, replace that one. Yes. Yes. No. Okay. So far, so good. And main painter. Now we want ACC painter. Now we want to copy this. ACC painter. And then find everywhere we have a main, everywhere we find a main painter, and we got to do special things now. I don't think this is right because down here I'm going to be passing that painter in anyway, and that is going to be setting all. Let me just see if this is doing the same thing over and over again. Why do we do it twice? I see. We're just setting the initial material. We're about to override it anyway. Diffuse map, normal map, specular map. Use material colors. All that's good. Diffuse, ambient. We don't reset those. We're going to have to set those. Shininess we reset. We don't necessarily need to do that. Okay, so this is just setting up the base material. It actually doesn't matter what... actually doesn't matter what we pass here because we're going to override it down below. And this is garbage. What's this about? Let's get rid of all that crap. Okay, so this is where we care. If let's make a layer. Private int layer. Int layer. This layer equals layer. So then everywhere we create these, we need to give it. So the hat's going to be on layer 1. The mask's going to be on layer 1. Everybody else is on layer 0. Okay. Yeah. And so then where we set this, we can say if part layer equals 0, else I'm going to screw future Paul and just say all other ones will get the accessory layer. Okay. Okay, so we want to say, where else are we using main painter? I think it's just there. Okay. If I've done this right, let's see if it'll compile. I should have, basically, we won't be able to click on the hat anymore, or the mask, but they should have their correct textures now. And so the next will be working on clickability. Clock, 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 clock. Alrighty. Come on. Oh no. Oh, I thought it was crashing. Okay, now we should be able to go back into clothing. And let's see if it blows up. Edit clothing. Nope, didn't blow up. Okay. So let's show the bust. And it's still got the wrong texture. Why for? Does it have the wrong texture? Okie dokie. What if we don't set these, since they're just going to be set below? And that will tell us if this was set up correctly. We can also check the logs. Yikes. That's a lot of... Okay, so this is logging all the things. It's a lot of logging. Ask. Part mask. It is setting... hat. It does come through, but I don't necessarily know what painter I'm using. Can clothing painter... Let's look up Clothing. Clothing painter must be over here. Yeah. All right. Let's log. Log blah 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 log. So painter equals main painter. Main, otherwise ACC. All right. Let's try again. This is the hard part. Hey, we're only halfway through the live stream. Of course, I haven't talked about getting it to actually show up on the player, which is something will require extra steps still. First I want to be able to edit, close, and load them up again, you know. And then when the player wears them, that's a whole other similar kind of multiple painters situation. Only that's already set up to deal with layers. Sort of. Alright, let's go clothing, basic tunic, edit clothing. Okay, let's see the bust. Still not the right texture. But it is a texture, which means that a texture was set. I wonder if we're painting the wrong data in. Let me see if... let's see here. Oh yeah. So let's see if removing this removes it from the... Nope. So yeah, they're definitely still wired to the same texture. Okay, so let's see if we're wiring it incorrectly. Doink. It's a lot of logs, but we gotta find... It's right foot, left foot, pelvis, body. Yeah, so it is using the right painter. But somehow those are sharing a texture. So perhaps somewhere on the... Yeah, I've got some wires crossed here. Now, let's see. We definitely have a builder. We definitely have a separate painter. We clear it. See, that's already... This should have painted in a different background. Yeah. They get the same texture. like this diffuse texture is the same. Just in case they look the same. Because that doesn't make any sense. Let me just make sure. Right leg. Yeah, so all these, I just want to make sure we weren't resetting it later for some reason. I'm missing something. So let's just see if there are different textures here. They can't be though, or are they sharing the same memory? Main builder. Or they're sharing the same cells, they would repaint. So what if we never repainted it? Okay, let's log info cells 1 ACC or main builder cells. Let's just make sure we're not sharing the same cell array. Cells 2 ACC builder get cells, because that could cause it. We got to figure out who back in the line is sharing something they shouldn't be. There's a problem that I'm halfway through the live stream and I already have to pee. And let us play. Okay, now let's look at logs again. Okay, that one we're less interested in than the clothing editor state. Okay. Well, I didn't look for what I really needed to look for. I forgot that the cell array was going to not include its unique ID or its system identity hash code. Let's see where we get the ACC Here we go. We got an ACC and a main. An ACC, diffuse texture, 131 blah blah blah, and main diffuse texture. Yeah, so they're using definitely different textures at least. We will include system identity hash code for main builder cells, and we will do the same thing for ACC builder to get cells. And then over here we will add image. I think texture, I think I can just get the image. Come on. Get image, yep. And I don't know if image includes this identity hash code, so we will do like this. Doink, 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 doink. Okay. So we're doing all of the things there. We're doing the things there, working our way back to figure out who's sharing data. The base, let me make sure. Fabric types, that's fine. Okay guys, I may have to step away for like 2 or like 30 seconds and use the bathroom. I will think infinitely clearer. So how was everybody's week? Did you guys do anything interesting? I've been slammed at work. We were doing planning for the quarter, so it's like every day is planning. Which is nice when I can kick off and work on Mythruna. I've been working on the physics stuff with related to the AI characters. Okay, clothing. Doink, doink, doink. Tunic, edit clothing. Let's show everything. Still screwed up. Deleting something here. We'll delete it here too. See, that would already be true. And that's what I sort of concerned about, that maybe we're just repainting it. Yeah. Oh yeah, because something's got to take that cell array. No, that's what the painter is doing. I don't know. Let's just confirm some assumptions. Main ACC. Okay. ACC image two different images. Okay, so they are 100% different textures. And we are setting them on the material. We could further, excuse me, if we add some debug code, we could further confirm that they are actually different materials with different textures by doing matte, set color, diffuse color, RGBA red. Oops. And so that should override the material's color if it happens to be, so it'll look tinted red. Okay, so let's check the other log. That's a cell array. That one is 8.6. That one, so they are completely different cell arrays too. Yeah, so something in the painting. Or no, they're different cell arrays. So something would have to be painting both cell arrays. It makes no sense. I'll tell you what. I'm going to start this up. I'm going to go to the bathroom real quick. So let's see. Be right back, and then I'm going to make that like a 66 point font. I'll get this loaded. I'll just pull this right back. I'll be right back. Alright, I have returned. Let's see. Let's get everything set back up. Let's see. Make sure the live stream's still running. Yeah, it says be right back. Okay. So now we go back up here. And I can minimize this, and we can go in and do our other test. Continue. You guys are quiet, quiet, quiet. I hope this thing is still streaming. Oh, I feel so much better. Surprising amount of brain power dedicated to needing to go to the bathroom. and wait and wait and wait and wait. All right. Clothing. Edit clothing. Oh, interesting. Interesting. Oh wait, I set it for if it's the main painter. So the main painter should be red. Okay, that's not interesting. Oh, it is interesting because everybody got set red. So somehow they are sharing the material. Looks kind of cool. Yeah, when you just set the diffuse and not the ambient, it does cool things. Alright, okay, so that's interesting. That gives me something to pull on. Why we know why. It's because I'm doing a full depth traversal on the whole model and not just the child. Well, that was a successful debugging round. Now let's see what other problems we have. That's code I added right before the live stream. This should fix these different textures to be used, and we can get to the next problem, which is going to be tricky enough. Also, I might want to try saving one of these just to see what happens. Is the chat working tonight? Usually I get at least one person saying hi. Okay, so this should have different textures. So this should be red, but these... Yay! Oh, and it's got the right texture. Check it out! Okay. And clicking on this will still do weird things. Like if we click here, it should still remove the thing. Yeah. And putting it back, yeah. Because it still thinks we're clicking on this part. So that's what we need to do next, is we need to detect that we're on these guys, we're on an accessory layer, and then redirect it to the different painter. And then essentially this part is working. Alright, cool. Okay, so then we can get rid of a lot of these debug statements. Okay, all that is vecking. And then here, where we are actually cursor handler cell, this is where we need to get a little smarter. Doink, doink, doink. Doink, 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 doink. I almost tried to take a drink of an empty Pepsi. Hello. Just making sure the chat is working. Yep. Okay, cool. All right. Alrighty then. So we want to set a layer. Frick. My feet keep getting caught up in the cable for my headset. Okay. Alright, so we need to detect the layer. That is when we move all of that is good. And then if the target Alright, I'm gonna have to do some debugging because unfortunately that means running the thing again, but I need to know what target is. And I think... No, I don't. Layer equals 0. If string that name equals last result dot get geometry dot get material dot get name. If hat equals mat name, this is not like super efficient, or mask equals mat name, then the layer equals 1. And if layer equals 0 and blah 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 blah, that's fine. We're gonna have completely different else if layer equals 0 and we're gonna have completely different ones for layer 1, or layer 1, yeah, sorry. But for now we'll just let all of them go through. And so then if layer equals let's say crap. Main builder is a clothing builder, so clothing builder target equals layer equals 0, main builder, otherwise ACC builder. We're just gonna be dumb right now. Target. Okay, so now if we look for main builder again, we should have many places where we can do that sort of thing. All good. All good. Yeah, we'll leave that in for now. All good, we're not messing with that. Search replace dialog. Gonna have to fix that. Oops. Open Search replace dialog. Of course, I couldn't make the search and replace dialog work anyway. So that's another issue for later. All those. Okay, so here we go. Clothing builder target equals cursor handler. Actually, we can just do like this. Get clothing builder. And then target. Yeah, still gotta fix that. Still gotta fix that. And so we can add this. Boink. Oops. Okay, so that should allow us to edit the two different things. Oh, we got a fifth viewer. Hey. I think that's all we need. If we compile, we ought to be able to edit the hat and the face separate. Then we can work out what the dead zones are. 698. 698. Oh, we already have a target. Builder. Target. Hey, Rom Cram. You were the first one to say anything today. Other than me. Everybody's been super quiet. I hope your week was good. We're just kicking butt here trying to get clothing hooked up. Doo-ba-doo-ba-doop-doop-doo. Doo-ba-doo-ba-doop-doop-doo. Okay, let's see if I broke something or got it working. Let's see, there's a butterfly or a bird. Yeah, busy. Me too. I was telling them the chat earlier that this week was a planning week at work. We're doing like PI planning, whatever that means, for quarter one, which starts, you know, a week and a half, or a little over a week. And so like all week was every day planning, doing task decomposition, and so I looked forward to getting off and working on Mythruna every day. Boink. Boink. Come on. Bring up. Come on. There we go. Alright. Basic tunic. Edit clothing. Okay. Now, let's show the bust. Okay, I should be able to add stuff here. Let's see. Uh-oh. It is not detecting the layer correctly. Yeah, and so like what I was telling others, the parts of the hat that you don't fill in will be transparent. So the brim's not always going to be giant like this. Same with the mask. The parts you don't fill in are going to be transparent, and they'll show whatever's underneath. But in here, they show, right? Because you got to be able to see where you can click. Excuse me. Okay, so apparently I've done something wrong somewhere. So let us log some stuff. Because I think that something is wrong here. Yeah, exactly. And you can, leave parts of the head itself off if you want to have like a visor or whatever. You can have all kinds of different shapes. Layer that on top of the mask to have like layered things. The painful part of all of this is just to test this one thing. I gotta start all over. I should have put that log in before. So, alright. You guys are gonna get to watch me start and stop the app. I would really love to be able to, before the live stream ends, edit the things, be able to save and load them again. If I can do that, even if they won't show up on the player yet, right? But if I can do that, then that lets me start, even like when I get bored and just want to spend 30 minutes working on something, I can start building a library of like helmets and hats and things, because I need to have guards for the town, and they need to have like helmets and stuff like that, armor. Things I have not created yet. So this is, we know things aren't going to work. I'm just trying to get to the point where I can get a different log statement. Oh, I replaced the stupid materials on all of these things. That is why. Okay, so I already know. Oh, I picked the wrong. That's fine. I was testing the height of the different NPCs types, the different races. But I'll go ahead and show you what's wrong. So if we go in here and we edit this and look at the bust and clear this. So when we wait for the logs to catch up. Yeah, see, they're all like stuck in there. So we've got mat name null no matter what, because I replaced all the materials for this, and so they would have lost their material names. So that is 100% my fault, because the clothing designer blows the existing material name away. And so we can fix that, because I do use that. Can I set the name of material? Boink. There we go. Will you let me set the name? Yes, okay. So new mat. Oh, I could actually just set it to the layer. Name layer part dot layer. Yeah, because part has a layer. Yep. Okay. So that will be just perfect. And then I don't even have to be as smart over here as I am. In fact, I could set... Okay, I'm using material name elsewhere, so I'm going to continue using that here. Leave that for now. Layer 0, or layer 1. Okay. I could have also set... JMonkey Engine lets you set user data on the objects. I could have used that. I'm gonna leave it. I was gonna say I was gonna be so confident I'm gonna remove the log. So this might actually work. And if I hooked all the other things up correctly, we might actually be able to save and load as well. but we won't create anything we super care about, just in case. Continue last world. This time we'll do the right player. Adela. Adela the elf. I think she's no, she might be a human, actually. I think she dresses a little slutty, maybe. There we go. Yeah, she's a human, but she does dress a little slutty. Okay, but you know, no slut shaming here. Alright, okay. Bust. Okay, so we ought to be able to... Let me wait till all the logs are done. What are they logging? Long style query, long style... Oh yeah, because I had to load all this crap. Okay, so we should be able to get... Yeah, so that's layer 1, layer 0. Alright. That means we should be able to make... Oh, look at that. We can make the things, and we can make... Alright. Okay, so let me just goof around for a second. Make something interesting to save. It's metal, not black steel. Let's do rusted metal. Yeah, so we have a rusted metal nose plate and some yeah, so we'll just make kind of a rough outline of a guard's helmet, right? Right, and then I'd take the time to put proper edges on it and fill all this stuff in. I don't want to spend too much time on it because it might not save properly. But this is the idea if you weren't here earlier. Oops, top right. So, right, you could have... yeah, probably you wouldn't want that there, but you get the idea. Blink, blink. Okay, so you got your helmet of facial protection. Obviously, you'd go and fill in the whole thing, right? And actually, the things like the rust textures are actually a problem because I can't really use the same fabric texture because the seams will be weird, but I think so far they work okay. But it's going to be a problem for both the twill fabrics that have like wear patterns. Okay, so let's see what happens if I save. Okay, this is the moment of truth. Click save. Save. Okay, it didn't blow up. And we have two separate cell IDs. It saved. It did not. It saved the same one twice. That could have been a logging bug. Okay, so let's try editing. Let's edit something else. Okay, that's good. Back to selection, we don't care. And now let's edit the clothing. Good. Nope, it lost it. It saved the same. So somewhere our arrays got crossed again because it saved the same array as. Okay, so that's something we can debug though. Alright, and I can remove this. This is working. So, yeah, it's saved. That's a problem, though. I'm going to have to delete that clothing completely. Because it basically messed up its... yeah. Okay. So we're going to save the clothing data. We pass the separate arrays here. We pass the separate arrays here. And just to verify that clothing data is doing the right thing with it, because that's another classic mistake of mine. Okay, it is setting both. And what we will do is add some more logging here, save the edit, log info, save array 1. System identity hash code blank array 2. Actually, we might be okay on the being able to reuse that particular. I'm not going to chance it, but not at first anyway. Okay, so that's the copy. This is the save. No, that's the edit. Edit. Where's the save? Oh, we're just going to save the clothing data. Okay. So we got to make sure that those were right here. Save array 1 clothing cell array. Oh, I'm so hungry. I should add a snack. Okay, so that save clothing data, and then we can go check through, see where we got our wires crossed. Okay, similarly here, we can verify. Yep, we have a log. Save clothing data array 1. C data. Okay. Then that goes all the way through to the server. And okay, we might have actually saved it correctly. Okay. Oh, here we go. This is the bug right there. Boink. I found the bug. And because we load the data, Okay, so that's the bug. We had crossed our wires right there. And I'm just going to see if that means the existing... So if we edit the clothing... Yeah, we get two separate arrays. Should be fine. In fact, I probably just copied the mask, which is kind of cool. One bug anyway. Okay, so something... Okay. Game session client to... Yeah, always one bug. One bug away. See data, clothing, just array. And array 2. Okay. I don't remember what I was saying. Must not have been important. But, yeah, so this would kind of be a happy accident in that it would have saved the mask that I had put in the regular. Son of a... Okay. Clothing selector state. It would have saved the mask so that I don't have to recreate that. Selected clothing. Okay, which one was it complaining about? 182. Clothing. Oh, it's just array here. Dun, dun, dun. But yeah, if I could get the saving loading, like, that'd be cool. We could maybe spend the last 10 minutes or so making some cool stuff. And talk about what I have to do next. I'm excited. I want to make cool costumes. Got to figure out how to promote it so that more people show up. Also, I think I am going to do the trick-or-treating thing, so next week I might work on like showing you guys how to make custom mods by making the little trick-or-treat. Basically, I'll give you guys statues that you can put in front of your house, and they'll create warp zones that we can, or warped. And maybe I'll make a town for us to all build houses in. So we have like trick-or-treat, and then if you click on that, it'll like tally up. You'll have a little pumpkin you're carrying around in your inventory or something. That'll be able to show you how many houses you visited or something like that. And I have an idea for a dungeon I want to make to capture the costumes. Okay, clothing. Edit. Okay, let's show the whole thing. Okay, that's all good. Yeah, it still has our hat data, so let's go ahead and clean out some of this. Actually, we should be able to clean out all of this, which will clean out the hat by transitive property. Actually, we can go, let's look at body. Full. Okay, yeah, let's just get rid of all this stuff. Oh boy. My kingdom for a flood fill. Let's close this. Okay. I'm getting too wrapped around the axle. We don't even know if this is going to save properly. So let's just let's look back at the bust. Let's just clear off the top of the hat. Oh yeah, because clearing off the body wasn't actually doing anything to this, because they're separate now. I'm such an idiot. Yeah, so this needed to be done anyway. Yeah, and because there's like no physics for the hat, you could actually have a like brim just floating out on its own that wasn't actually connected to the head. So I imagine we can get creative, like propellers on people's heads or something. I don't know. I hope that you guys bring your imagination. Okay, let's save it. Dum-ba-dum-ba-dum-ba-dum-ba-dum. Okay, long style queries, that's fine. Okay, let's edit something else just to confirm we've cleared the palette. Okay, so that's all good, and we don't have any garbage showing up there, which is also good. All right, back to selection. Edit the tunic. Hey! Yay! Awesome. Cool, 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 cool. Okay, so the next things I have to do is make the hat, like, it's supposed to keep whatever you have clicked there and just get rid of the background texture. So I have to fix that and or add a separate toggle. I need to, let's change the name of this. Mask. Yeah, so you got like your superhero style mask. So cool. Saving and loading is working. Obviously, I need to make it show up on the player too. That's going to be something I do in maybe tomorrow. Take a break from working on the AI stuff and mess with this a little bit. Because the other thing I have to do is spend a lot of time making this work on the non-human female models. So I have to figure out a good way to port this and then spend a whole entire day messing with also I'd like maybe to do the same thing I did with the when there isn't one of these, it stores a null. Yeah, there's a bunch of stuff I have to confirm that's still working. And if there's any of that you guys would like me to do on the live stream, let me know, but otherwise I'll just kind of make sure it works. And then next time we can play with scripting the trick or treat system so you guys can see how to add your own mods. We'll basically do that from scratch. So you guys can see the whole process. Making a new mod that's just for your server or just for your world. It's the same whether you're running in a server or so anyway, we got let's see the full thing. Yeah, so we still got some to clear out. I also have lots of room left on the texture. I could do gloves too. Just to port the hands over. Maybe not this round. I need a clear button with an "Are you sure" dialog. Okay, so we probably... Yeah, so there's some foot-related stuff here too. Yeah, the mask was on the feet. Let's go boots and I'll be able to look closer. Okay, so that's all good. No change, yep. So if we go back to the bust. Alright, we've got a mask. Save it. And then I should be able to edit it again, and it should just be the mask. Correct! Ha 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 ha. Back to selection. Let's make a helmet. So we can just go to head, like that, and call it helmet. Helmet. Yay. Okay, so, oops. Let's select metal. And let's just do steel. And we'll make a... yeah, I'll come back and add a border later. So yeah, so this is working. I think I'll cut a release probably next weekend. I got to get all of the things finished. I'll probably also need to redo these to have different seams. But anyway, I think it gets the point across even with the artifacts. So, because it's like having a whole separate set of fabric types and textures. And the seams are, yeah, it's like it's a separate kind of problem. Okay, so let's make a helmet for this guy. Just making sure, it's also like a big test right now to make sure all the parts are clickable. Right? And then we can do fancy stuff in a second. Okay, let's give him, let's see, give him some place for the ears. And then protection for the back of his head. Did I do that? Yep, I did. Okay. I need a mirror mode where it will like edit both sides at once. Okay. Now, actually, I think his ears are probably taller still. We'll put triangles there instead. Okay, so let's do some angles. Top left, boink. Top left, boink. We'll do another one up here. And maybe like one down here. And then we'll do top right, like this, like this, like this, and like this. Okay, so he's got a basic helmet set up, no edges. So we will go back and we will add some edges because I kind of like the shape of it. Okay. Actually, that one will need a... Actually, maybe we'll put this there. Yeah, I think I like that better. Let's give it a little bit of organic look to it. This one I will leave, but I'm going to put 2. And for this one, we'll do it on the other side. Like that, so it's got like a edge. And then for this, we'll make an edge here. Right? I did that one already. Did I do this one? I did. And so then, these. And then this. Doink, doink, boink, boink. Doink, 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 doink. Okay, so we've got like the basic helmet. Probably we want to make a little nose piece that comes down maybe. And it could get thinner. Yeah, that's not what I want. Bar, top, bottom. Yeah, so far on the bottom one we want to have the thing. Okay, so he's got those, and now that I see it, I kind of want to have the there we go. Okay, so it kind of looks like a helmet. We can even give him a ridge down the middle, so we could take this and we could run that all the way around the middle, or we could have that be actually an accent in a different... Let's make that brass. So actually we could make these like a different color. It doesn't look good on here, but we've got to remember it will look different when it's on an actual player eventually. So we can make this like this. Yeah, and then what we'll do is we will make some full squares like that run around the bottom. See, it looks bad because it blends in with the at least I think it only looks bad because it's blending in with the brown paper look. Anyway, let's save it before I do anything else. And let's edit the clothing again. Oh, no, I selected the wrong thing. Helmet. So this would have been a new one, and new works. Okay, cool. And so you can add some more decorations to this. But it's kind of like a basic helmet, and we could add, yeah, so like accents of metal's good. We want black steel. And let's make some center, so we can like add some little accents here and there. Give it some visual interest. Maybe also up along the top. Anyway, you can get crazy with it. I don't think I like that personally. But I may look at different helmet styles to kind of come up with an idea, but I think that's okay. It looks like what it's supposed to be. Probably needs something here. So anyway, save. So it's working. That means we can make all kinds of cool stuff, like hats and yeah, so hats, show the hat. Yeah, so I look forward to playing with this for sure. And you can make like a baseball cap. Let's see. I want to see. I do actually want to see how well the twill works with the because the issue is that it has like a wear pattern in it. Oh no. I had the I had the edges turned on. It has a wear pattern in it that I think is going to make some interesting seams. And actually I do want the bottom edge here, because I'm making a baseball cap. Oops. Okay, now we can. But yeah, I really want to. I'll send some. I'll post some screenshots to Discord for sure when I have this on a player. Yeah, see, we get like a little seam here because the wear patterns are different. Might have to get creative to. And I mean, basically, this is better than nothing, right? So yeah, so some of it's worse than others, but I think this will let us get the point across. Why am I getting a little... Okay, that's why. Yeah, so some of the seams are worse than others. I may have to create a version of twill that has different wear patterns, basically. Okay, so what do we want? We want a... probably a triangle right there. Angle... top right, like right here. Yeah. And then one right here. And then top left. One right there. No, one right there and one right there. Oops. And this one right there, right there, right there, right there. Okay, so we made a like a baseball cap. Actually, these probably can go even further over. Oops. Yeah, I think that's better. Yeah, so it like looks like Ash Ketchum, but kind of has a baseball cap. Or, you know, you could shorten the brim like that. Anyway, again, those parts will be transparent, and they'll come through the bottom too, so that you can have like different things on the bottom and the top. So like on the bottom here, we could go back to the linen and have you know, like a different material on the bottom, or even let's do a red twill, because like I like the idea of that. Even the when I have capes, like the idea being that like if you have a cape, you definitely want to be able to have a black cape with a red inside. Like, let's not even play, right? Oops. Oh, those are backwards. Oh, that's gonna be problematic. Okay, I can fix that. Yeah, because they're all backwards. Yep. So like if it were transparent, you know, all of this stuff would go away and you just have your baseball cap. Anyway, so let's go ahead and save it. Baseball cap. Oops. Yeah. So that'll be interesting to play with, and I'd obviously put an edge on this. Actually, I could do even more. Anyway, I don't want to play with it too much. Anyway, so yeah, I'll try to get this working to cut a release next weekend, and so we'll have plenty of time to make costumes with hats and helmets and masks and all that cool stuff. Yeah, probably gonna have to fix that. Okay, so save it. All right, so cool. Thanks for joining. I'm super hungry, otherwise I might continue for a little while. But yeah, so I hope you guys have a productive week if you're working on any creative projects. Yeah, definitely like, comment, subscribe to the video. Again, I'm real close to 1,000 subscribers, and you know, thank the patrons again. They help keep the lights on, and I will see you guys on the Discord, where I will post screenshots as I get new stuff done. So keep an eye there. If you don't know what the Discord is, download the game. The link is right in the game. So, all right, thanks guys.